always this push and pull over the pushing bottom lanes. Heimerdinger is available, AShe is available, Caitlyn Lux is available. Looks like they're going to go for the Caitlyn really quickly on FlyQuest side, so I think Cloud9 will want to grab a jungler along with, you know, I would assume this is a support AShe.
Well, also remember yesterday it was Cloud9 playing the Caitlyn Kalista bot lane duo that was able to shine with some of the pushing power and early control of the Caitlyn as well as the Kalista to keep it safe. So not only getting that for Prince for FlyQuest, but denying it from C9. There's the AShe locked in, expecting that support like you said. They know they don't have to
Jungler's dream, baby. Jungler's dream.
Let's go.
If you give Blaber extra information, I feel like this is a path to victory. Yes, and if they could get the Vi too, really good at engaging. Obviously, AShe Arrow plus Vi, that combination already in picks 1-2 for Cloud9. They have all the tools available to push the state of the game.
Now, FlyQuest, how do you want to respond here? You mentioned Caitlyn Lux. FlyQuest is feeling the same thing. This is a classic power lane early on. They'll have control. They have range. You get caught by a snare. Oh, sorry, here's a cupcake. Sorry, here's a headshot. Sorry, here's a net. Sorry, here's more. Ksante going to round out the first half of the draft here for FlyQuest. You said you were curious. Is Fudge going to be on it? Is he going to be against it? Well, now we're going to have to see what they want to pull out against this.
Okay. Excited because Cloud9 here, they have a decision. Either pick up their AD carry. Okay, we don't get to even explain it before it's done, but the decision was, do they want to grab the counter, their preferred counter, Fudge's preferred counter into Ksante, which I prefer the Gwen super heavily because Ksante always wants to build armor first with the Frozen Fist, Iceborne Gauntlet item, and having the magic damage Gwen up there is a really big problem for him. But they decide to go with their bottom lane first. I guess technically either one of these champs could be support, could be AD carry. Yeah. From now on, we'll just refer to bottom lane as the double AD carry lane.
Call them bottom lane. That's what I'm going to call them.
Okay, there we go.
Bottom lane.
They're both carries down there nowadays with all the champions going around. Zven, of course, is primely positioned to play a lot of those AD carry champions as support. But let's move on. Because they did not grab their counter to Ksante now, good ban here, I believe, from FlyQuest. Ban away the Gwen. You know, then you're still thinking about the Jax, the Fiora, kind of those more skill matchup-y ones. And meanwhile, Cloud9, since they have their jungler, trying to further whittle down on this pool with the massive amount of jungle bans. And Spica's really going to have to dig deep. You could go farming, you know, Graves, Udyr even, pretty good farm-style junglers.
Well, there's the Graves eliminated. Nocturne is not a very common pick these days, so really digging deep into that jungle pool to make Spica have to go a couple of tiers further down. The Gwen is banned away. Do they want to take out something else like the Jax as well, or do they want to focus the mid lane instead? FlyQuest have a little bit of time left to think about this, think about what they want to target here. Fudge has been a standout player, but no, the Kassadin, this has been being banned almost all the time, most times in second half of the draft if your opponent doesn't already have their mid lane locked in, so that's off the table.
Yeah, there was a very small nerf to Kassadin's E. Berserker Cloud9, Spring Split MVP, the shout out already. Calling their shot. And then there we go. We get the answer. The Fiora is let through, of course. So it's going to be the Fiora over the Jax instead for Fudge. Very excited to see him versus Impact up there. Meanwhile, what is going to be the blinds from FlyQuest? They have to blind mid lane. Vicla feels confident on the Sylas.
Okay.
Akali is available for that classic World of matchup we saw all of World.
Yep, the World's 2022 special, baby.
And figure out what Spica can go with, because so many jungles have been banned here. You're really pushing it. I prefer the Udyr. Graves definitely banned away, and it's Amumu, baby! Amumu previously has been shunned throughout the history of pro play.
It's his lore.
It is lore accurate. But ever since, 2010, Amumu's been kind of shunned out of the pro meta down into the lower ratings because, you know, it's very straightforward champion. Just hard engaged, doesn't have a lot of escapes for himself. With the introduction of course, of the double bandage toss, has a few more options and can, you know, try and Spider-Man his way out to minions. But this is exciting. He has recently been climbing up the ranks becoming very, very popular even in the higher ratings, especially, you can, even with the small nerfs to Demonic on the B patch, go that as well. Could go full tank for
the start of 2023, but one of those flawless records ends here today on the Rift, and it's time to see which one of them it is. Kobe, we gotta focus on these junglers here in the early game, I think. Both these guys are excellent at what they do. Both these guys got some good ganking tools early on. Where do you want to see them?
Bottom lane Tribrush.
Okay.
Let's see him there. There's so much emphasis, of course, nowadays on trying to get vision in the brush on side lane, with it being so focused on pushing. Vicla uses a Sylas jump over to the back here. They want to try and pincer Berserker, see if they can get a summoner spell or even a Q. Amumu can follow it up. If Vicla lands, Berserker.
A whiff.
Confidence there from Berserker, sidesteps it. No summoner spells blown. Good attempt from FlyQuest, though. I always like to see prep like that, especially when you have a champion as versatile as Sylas here, to jump over the back of the wall, knowing that if you land it, you have a Lux and an Amumu on your team. They will instantly both level up their Qs, and that person will be dead, will be followed up upon. Fudge takes the opportunity. When you see 5 members on the other side of the map, you know you have freedom as the top laner to go get some deeper vision.
And Fudge, remember yesterday, did a very cheeky level 1 when Cloud9 played against CLG. He absolutely took contracts out of the game at level 1, counter jungling that Wukong at the red buff. He's not going to get the opportunity to do something similar. This game, as Spica, is starting on the other side of the map, but you've always got to be mindful of what this guy's going to do.
And counter jungling is one of the tools used against Amumu a lot higher up, because the champion has no dashes of his own that are not to enemy minions or enemy monsters. If you are able to get some pushing lanes to help you in an invade on an Amumu, oftentimes you find him on a camp, he's going to have no way out except flashing, and you can get a lot of an advantage. Looks like it will be a pretty easy clear for him, though. Always looking for the full clear here. Spica does do his bottom triangle of the jungle. A lot of wards for Cloud9. We'll see him if he transitions back. He's taking a pathway here, though.
Yeah.
Past a ward towards mid.
Yeah, Cloud9's putting down a lot of early vision in the jungle of FlyQuest to track this Amumu nice and early, make sure they don't get caught off guard by those ganks. And remember that as the game goes on...
Who's invading who, baby?
Yeah, let's see what it's going to be here. Spica will throw the ward over the wall. He knows Blaber's going after these wolves. Smite's not available for the Amumu just yet, so Blaber's able to immediately grab that. Now what about the fight? Spica's winning for now. Blaber turns it right back around with a Vault Breaker. Diplex having a wave about to crash into his turret is saying, no, just get the hell out of there. I don't want to deal with that. I need to farm this up right now. So Spica getting aggro here on the Amumu early on.
I love to see it. Going for the invade himself. He likes to turn the table, take control. With the double Qs, definitely has a possibility, but Blaber's going to turn it around on him. He goes for the counter invade, cross map onto the blue. This is, by the way, the first Amumu in the LCS since 2015, since I played it as jungle. Of course, we had the era of Amumu supports, which were everywhere.
Right, yeah, those are some different.
Back to the origins here, original Amumu as a jungle. See, it's actually fun. Yeah, the whole audience is like, oh, it's going to hard leash back. But some of the changes to jungle have made it a lot kinder to, to junglers. If you do get the full patience leash, it only heals up very slowly as it waddles back into patience range. So it doesn't take a lot longer for Blaber to finish that one out. Does get it and gets the crab on his way out. You know he loves those.
Yeah, the camps are a lot more level-headed. They lose their patience and then they calm down immediately.
Exactly.
They don't have to go for a walk and manage to just do the deep breaths for a while.
There's been therapy for junglers as well as the jungle camps in 2023. The new season is just trying to calm everybody down.
If there's anything I know about North American solo queue, it's that we could use a little bit more jungler therapy here in the
Everybody's just a little kinder nowadays. Meanwhile, though, bottom lane, pretty even as far as the CS goes. Slight push advantage here to Prince and Winsome. Yep. Of course, the Caitlyn Lux trying to get up to the tower so they can really pepper you with those skill shots and see if they can get any damage on plates. Doesn't look like they've been able to scratch it at all thus far, though.
Yep, just going to get this wave crashing in there, continue to throw out those spells like you're talking about. Caitlyn Lux, love being able to control the lane, use the power of that range and that poke when you're stuck underneath the turret, force you to miss farm, force you to trade your health to try to contest it, and we'll see how well they're able to keep running things down here in the bottom lane. Prince, of course, being a standout performer so far for FlyQuest. We got to see him have an incredibly flashy display yesterday on the Lucian, really just showing mastery over that short-ranged AD carry. And so today, we're going to see what it looks like with the Caitlyn.
Honestly, I've been so impressed with Prince. I feel like he's shown mastery over every AD carry he's played thus far in the LCS. Absolutely playing them to their extremes. The Zeri, the Ezreal performance as well. Each one trying to play on the edge, squeeze out more damage, be as annoying as possibly can to the opponents while remaining safe still. So I too am looking forward to what they can accomplish here. Caitlyn Lux, of course, always trying to push up, see if they can get any turret plate money.
Yep.
Problem is, Blaber here on the Vibe does have the experience lead over Spica with the counter jungle that he was able to get off, stealing away the blue buff, and also has a vision of him right now.
And of course, this is the reality for poor little Amumu. With Vi being able to jump over the walls like that, Blaber's going to feel a lot more comfortable, a lot more frequently, moving in, trying to get down some vision, seeing what he might be able to poke around and find here. As mid lane, Vicla and Diplex both level 6. Looks like we're going to get a full-on fight here. Nice bandage coming out from Spica as Diplex tries to get away. Vicla flashing back over the wall now. Spica ready to counterattack. He's used both bandages now. E2 from Vicla. The Sylas damage is there. It's first blood over to FlyQuest. Diplex trying to get away from this one. Spica waiting a little bit more for the next Q. There it is! The flash don't matter. A double kill to Vicla.
Mumu's found his friend, Flowers, and the friend is Vicla. The friend is Sylas. The chains, the whips, everything here in the mid lane. 2 Q stunts for Spica, everything landing there for FlyQuest, and Cloud9 overchased over the wall. Blaber tried to flash to finish off the kill onto Vicla, but Vicla too quick already, using his flash as well. Let's take another look at it. Spica, since he knew he had this lead, look at the jungle right now. He's got the space lead over Vi in the river. He'll be here first. Diplex, the communication here should also be, hey, Amumu's in that brush. So early health lead. Vicla then tried to use the ultimate. Then he just dashes right back over the wall. Blaber and Diplex just barely too short to get the kill onto Vicla. And then they're too far as Spica is able to lock them down, allow the Sylas to follow up as well. Another bandage shot, Spica hitting every single one in the 2v2 here, allowing Vicla to follow it right back up. And that is massive. When a Sylas gets the first 2 kills in the Sylas Akali matchup, that thing never goes back in the Akali's favor. This is so good for FlyQuest.
Somebody get Scout on the phone. Ask him what it was like playing Akali into a fed Sylas versus Zeka. I still remember that matchup from Worlds. That was not a pretty one to see.
To be fair, Zeka smurfed both sides of the matchups multiple times in different circumstances, and really is kind of the king of this. One of my favorite, actually, metas, by the way, of having these 2 melee assassin-y-ish solo laners. But yes, of course, with the big lead here for Vicla, FlyQuest, their game plan gets very easy.
Yeah.
Now you've got this 3-person melee champ dive that we can force, that we talked about in Champ Select, that gets to play around a fed mid lane. So Vicla constantly going to have this mid lane pressure. Spica uses it to take the Rift Herald instead of the Dragon. So although Cloud9 do get to trade and are trying to pick up this Dragon and should be able to, while Spica gets the Rift Herald, so many teams really prefer that early Rift Herald for the snowballing effect. It's worth so much money now with the extra 200 gold that was added several patches ago, plus the turret plate money on top of it.
Zven is trying to get away from these guys here. There's your stolen arrow. Nice flash away from Zven to be able to get away from it. I like the attempt from Vicla there to secure the crowd control that would have been able to provide that kill. FlyQuest plus 900 gold. Herald in inventory. They'll have the full timer on that to get plate value out of it wherever they want to drop it.
Yeah, I honestly would put it mid lane as well. You just want, I would just want to further ram this Sylas into the enemy territory.
Okay.
Take down mid turret. You get him even more fed by getting some turret plate money on him. Vicla, get his early Rod of Ages stacking, so you can further accelerate the scaling. It's just so many good things will happen out of this mid lane if Spica continues to go there. Level 6 on Amumu. There's so much lockdown here. You know, he's already been hitting every bandage toss. If he can have the ultimate as well, it basically guarantees the full CC chain from both him and Sylas. Cloud9 though, they need to take a breath, take a step back. Yes, they've got a problem in mid lane, and they're facing Caitlyn Lux on bottom side, which is perma-pushing. Hopefully for them, Fudge can start to do something on top side with his Fiora answer into the Ksante. Other than that, they're trying to play damage control here. Zven's hawk shots are very, very important in keeping track of Spica and where FlyQuest are trying to force next.
Yep, Blaber came down there to shadow bot lane. They had the control ward that saw Spica. They knew they had to protect against this dive because otherwise it's way too easy with Amumu just walking up, providing that lockdown onto both targets. Back in mid, Diplex is still keeping the farm tied up, all nice and even there with Vicla, despite the fact that they lost that 2v2. Up top side, Fudge controlling this matchup in the 1v1.
This is what Cloud9 need, some hope from the top lane. Fudge has been the all-star player for the squad thus far this season. Definitely getting a lot of help, of course, but see what they can do about it. Blaber, you can see on the mini-map, is playing off of the advantage that Fudge has. Fudge pushes impact off. Teleport comes right back, and he comes up there, but it is going to be a second steal away on the blue buff, as Blaber did have the exact timer. Does mean 3-person unanswered push on bottom side. Spica kind of goes up there. He just puts the Rift Herald behind Prince. They're going to be able to finish this one pretty quickly here. That's going to be 4 turret plates very quickly for the Caitlyn Lux. And once you get that Caitlyn Lux roaming to the other side, you just rotate them to the other standing turrets and get some more turret plate money. So that one chipped down very, very low.
The classic Caitlyn game plan. First take your turret, then get every turret thereafter and start snowballing into that mid game, which again is going to feel even better for the champion now that you can get the Infinity Edge second. You're going to have those big headshot crits that really chunk out those health bars. Gale Force completed there for Prince. You've already got the Rod of Ages up to its first stack for Vicla, like you talked about. When you're accelerated, it feels even better if you're rushing Rod of Ages and having that item building towards it. But back in mid lane, these two, I'm always wanting to see this break out into a 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing an econ game like, you know, a Rod of Ages, or even better, a Rod of Ages plus Seraph stacking champion, if you get an early 2 kills, it kind of feels like you're cheating, you know, getting an early extra bit of gold to fund those scaling builds. Vicla, though, continues to push up.
Yep.
Neglects a little bit of trading. Still haven't been able to knock off the turret plate, but constantly has prio from mid lane here. And approaching that level 11 pretty soon as well for the lower cooldown on ult.
Cloud9's going to just go ahead and continue trying to farm up, trying to just move along without losing anything else. We've got a little bit over 1 minute before the next Drake spawns. It was C9 that took that first one. I expect FlyQuest to challenge here for the second.
Yeah, especially with Spica finishing that Demonic that we were talking about.
Yes, sir.
Demonic Embrace, even with the slight nerf to it for melee champions, still very, very powerful. Going to put out a lot of extra damage here. And they've got supreme vision control in the river as well. You see FlyQuest doing all of the preemptive work here. There is 1 ward in the back of the pit existing here for Cloud9. Plus, they do have AShe, so you always have access to some sort of vision. But honestly, I think Cloud9 should probably make the call to just try and play off other side. Maybe you make a cross-map play.
Yep.
You know, go for something here with Fudge. Try and get him more fed, maybe. Ksante's pretty difficult to pull off tower dives on because of the mobility, because of the all-out. But definitely would be worth even just getting a bunch of turret plate money and maybe a turret.
Well, one thing to keep in mind here is neither one of our top laners have their teleport available for when the dragon spawns. And even if mid laners want to teleport into something, teleports will not be unleashed for another 20 seconds after the Drake spawns. So something to keep in mind in terms of the positioning, the flank angles, and how the teams want to set this up. Winsome's going to clear out some of these Cloud9 wards that have been spotted by the Scryer's Bloom, just using the E over the wall to make sure nobody from C9 is setting a trap.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way Cloud9 want to fight this. Look at this. 1, 2, look, all these items completed here.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a bunch of just pieces on the other side in inventories for Cloud9. So Dragon number 2, not the scariest. Looks like both teams not paying a lot of attention to it. And Spica here for FlyQuest even has opted to protect top side instead of overloading their resources towards that dragon, towards the other half of the map.
And it sounds like FlyQuest has a similar read to what you were saying you hope to get from Cloud9, right? Is make a play on the other side of the map. FlyQuest is saying, well, let's shut that down if that's really going to be what they attempt. It doesn't end up resulting in a whole lot from either side up there. This bottom lane tier 1 turret, now that plates have fallen, is not long for this world. Zven and Berserker have been stuck underneath this thing for most of laning phase.
Yes, they have. Playing against the Caitlyn Lux lifestyle. They actually have been CSing pretty well for themselves, but
yeah.
Of course the Rift Herald definitely doing a lot of damage and kind of boosting Prince up to this Gale Force completion. I always love the call too as well, just skip your boots, Finish your Gale Force. That's the only mobility you need. Quick little
gives you a
dash. Quick little dash inside combat. Don't need to walk around too much as Caitlyn. You're like a siege tower, basically.
Oh! Impact going for the outplay on Fudge, and he gets some. Nicely done from FlyQuest top lane.
Nice stuff, yeah, right into the turret with the flash used from Fudge as well. Impact, all he had to use was the Ghost to try and get the angle there. His tower's been taking a beating due to the demolish of Fudge, but another kill for FlyQuest. 3-0 now already. This is the first time we've seen Cloud9 sweat this much. And at all over the map, too.
Yeah.
Bottom lane, constant pressure. It's a Caitlyn Lux, always pushing in. Mid lane, they won the 2v2 mid jungle skirmish early. And now even top lane, even though Impact got his turret pretty low here with Fudge's demolish, he's able to get the nice setup there into the W, then ult with the all out, reset your W, finish off Fudge.
If Ksante knocks you back underneath his turret with Q3, you know you are going to have a bad time. Fudge tried to get away from it, but it was too little too late, and just no way to get out of that one. C9 now looking to start up the second Rift Herald of the game. Remember, it was FlyQuest who took the first one. It's FlyQuest who got the second Drake now, so that's tied up, but it's FlyQuest who don't seem to be willing to just let this go. Impact's going to be the first on the scene, ready to challenge this, but C9 has all 5 men ready for this Herald.
I don't think FlyQuest should have to let anything go. They have such a good lead here over Cloud9. They're going to brute force shove them off the Rift Herald. Nice little sneak there from Fudge around the top side. You see him finish off the turret, at least for Cloud9 to get them something, though.
TY for leash. FlyQuest just picks up what C9 started. They enjoy a 1,500 gold lead right now. If this Herald ends up being successful in getting them another turret, that'll balloon closer to 2,000.
Okay, so eyeballs on Ashe Arrow plus Vi combination. Cloud9 are looking for a pick here. They have a lot of ranged tools. Can't get up the wall.
Impact trying to fight off to the side while Vicla is enduring Fudge's assault. Now Impact jumping back over the wall there with the all out, looking to isolate Blaber. Over the wall comes Spica. It's going to be a killing spree for Vicla. FlyQuest's coordination baits in C9 and gets him a kill.
Oh man, Impact is just too good, Flowers. Again, he's gonna get another perfect all out. This one on Blaber. Blaber doesn't even get his Vi ultimate off. Just gets knocked into enemy team. And FlyQuest rack up another one. That's now 2 kills for Impact. Yeah, he was getting pushed in a lot early, but with those kills, that's funding a very, very scary Ksante. And we have all seen at the hands of Fudge even what this champ can do as you go towards the mid game.
Impact is just a force of nature, man. Guy's been playing League of Legends for a decade now, and he still remains at the top level of top laners here in the LCS.
And you've got Vicla, the Sylas that won the 2v2 mid jungle early with 2 stacks on a Dark Seal that he picked up on top of his Rod of Ages that was purchased so early to start stacking so quickly. 3 kills to Vicla's name. It is looking so scary for Cloud9. They basically have to get a pick away from other people.
Well, Vicla's trying to get away now from Blaber and Diplex, who are looking to take him out before backup arrives. They're going to get him. First kill of the game here for C9, but it will be traded back as Spica finds Zven. Now Impact gets to escape from Fudge. A little bit more damage flying out there from FlyQuest as Fudge has already used the repose. Berserker opens up with a curtain call. Not finding a whole lot of damage just yet. Going after Prince. He hits him with fourth shot. That's going to force FlyQuest to fall back a little bit further. C9, it's a 1-for-1 trade, but they have much better health bars. Unfortunately, there's nothing for them to take off of the victory.
Really good kill, though. Even though it is traded over and you drop a support kill there with Zven going down, you're happy to take it. That was a bounty on Sylas' head. Vicla going down, really big morale booster here for Cloud9. Getting that extra gold in the pockets of Blaber for the Vi. He finishes his Kempuk Chainsword, which, by the way, is a worse rush item now. Even though they did buff the Grievous Wounds, they reduced the attack damage. I would highly recommend the recently buffed
Black Cleaver.
Yeah, 3 extra 5 AD, 50 HP. We already saw the pickoff, of course. Really nice job there from Blaber with the Vi ultimate. They were able to finish it off. Diplex starting out the 1v1, and Blaber finishing it as a 1v2, enabling them to get their kill on Vicla, get that shutdown. Of course, they did sacrifice Zven, but support Ashe.
Not that big of a deal.
It's okay.
Not that big of a deal. Radiant Virtue just got completed for Spica as well. That's going to be a massive initiation tool when he dives into these fights here to start him off for FlyQuest.
And there's just a massive team fight power difference with those 2 items compared to just the Kempuk Chainsword on Blaber. You know, the extra damage from Demonic plus all the healing and ability haste here off its Radiant Virtue. Let's see about the 1v1 though.
Yeah.
Spica doesn't have teammates.
Spica's in a bit of a rough spot here. Drops the ulti, ready to turn it around, and he does it beautifully.
Oh,
Hook, line, and sinker. It's fish in a barrel, and they're all wearing Cloud9 jerseys. FlyQuest, they get the mid laner, they get the jungler, and they get their butts to Baron right on spawn.
He's so much tankier. That Radiant Virtue you mentioned coming in handy, healing him up as he's walking away after the ultimate. FlyQuest gonna burn down this Baron. Zven sticking around.
Zven? Buddy, pal. What are we doing there? That is not what the doctor ordered here for Cloud9, but it's a prescription for success for FlyQuest. 8-1, 4,000 gold ahead. Baron at 20 minutes and 30 seconds into the game.
Fish are not food. They are friends. Just like support AShe. Supports are not food. They are friends. Nope, they're actually food. Support AShe goes down again. Yes, nice little slip over the back of the wall for FlyQuest. Flowers, this is only 20.5 minutes. That was a very, very early Baron pickup for them after the pick, after the kill, where they thought they had caught the little Amumu. But in this case, little Amumu did in fact have friends, and FlyQuest are trying to get back in time to force them off the dragon as well. Can Cloud9 burn this down? It's a Mountain Drake, the tankiest of dragons.
Yeah. 5,000 HP left on it. FlyQuest managed to bring the whole team here in time. And as soon as all 5 men show up, Cloud9 knows there's no way they can take a fight in open ground. They are way too far behind. Their opponents are buffed by Baron. It's only second Drake of the game for Fly. It's not worth fighting. So FlyQuest are going to take that one. They only have 1 turret taken so far, Kobe. There is so much standing gold on the Rift right now that FlyQuest can just add to their pockets with the next 2 minutes of this Baron buff.
Yeah, they are feeling supremely confident right now. Guess what? We also got our 10 stack Rod of Ages. Vicla's level 15 now on that Sylas. When we said scary things were coming after winning a mid-jungle 2v2 for the Sylas side, yes, those have manifested. 6 stacks on the Darksteel. Got the extra level already off the Rod of Ages. Zhonya's done as well, so he can just go super ham into the team fight.
Problems are building up if you're playing for C9. They gotta find some sort of a way to stabilize here. Radiant Virtue at least finally done for Blaber, so he'll be a bit more survivable when he goes into these fights and tries to start things off here for the squad. Infinity Edge complete for Prince. There's the Caitlyn 2-item power spike that feels really juicy with those headshots like we were talking about earlier. They gotta be so careful. Anybody gets caught out by Ksante, by Sylas, Amumu, everybody except for Caitlyn has some CC, and then Caitlyn just click, click, boom.
Click, click, boom, indeed. Looks like Prince doesn't have to do as much heavy lifting this game as he has previously. Vicla's gonna handle this one no problem. Impact has been doing quite well, as we've stated many times as well, on the Ksante. He's trying to set one up here on Fudge again.
Oh, and they just immediately go to burst Fudge down. They'll take him out. Even through the riposte, it won't matter. Impact gets the kill on that one. And with the Cloud9 top laner dead for the next 40 seconds, and Baron still up for another 30, we'll see what FlyQuest can find with this. Spica has no ulti. It's Blaber's Q flash that finds him and hits him, and it looks like they should be able to finish the job here. Nicely found by C9.
Good on Cloud9 to actually get some money back, but it's always going to cost them. The constant map pressure on the other side here with Baron buff. Guess what? Unrelenting pushing here.
Yeah.
Caitlyn Lux in the mid lane gets a turret. Vicla gets one top side as well. It's in fact very, very positive. Net positive here for FlyQuest, despite Spica finally going down on the bottom side. We got to see it finally. The Amumu, no escapes.
Yep.
Did get killed.
Took 23 minutes. But we got there. Now, before they got that Baron, FlyQuest had only taken the tier 1 turret in bottom lane. The Baron enabled them to get the tier 1 and tier 2 in both mid and top. They went from 1 total turret to 5, so the map feels much more wide open, especially around this top jungle of Cloud9. And for C9, it's that much scarier because now you're walking into Fog of War with nowhere to run.
It certainly feels wide open, yeah, for FlyQuest. Meanwhile, Cloud9, they're living in a little living room. They're just actually all living in the same closet right now. There's like, we're boxed in. We can't even go into our own jungle. Ooh, we can barely go out of our own base.
And Impact is not going to allow Fudge to have any fun here in this side lane either. FlyQuest grouping up, bringing a lot of manpower down here to take out this last standing tier 2 turret, while Vicla remains in the mid lane to apply a little bit of split pressure somewhere else. You're going to see C9 do whatever they can trying to defend this. Impact does not care about tanking up the turret. He's Ksante. He's not worried about it. They'll hard force this down. Vicla steals away the Akali ultimate to be able to give himself both some extra dueling power or outplay potential, depending on what situation he finds himself in. 7,000 gold up for FlyQuest. 90 seconds till the next Drake spawns, a little bit more than that until Baron's back on the table.
What a performance from FlyQuest. You know, this game's so hyped up. Our two top teams, 2023 of the LCS, battle at the top, battle of the undefeated, and FlyQuest make it look like easy work. The 2v2 mid, I keep coming back to that.
It really did set the pace of the entire thing.
It's such a big advantage, yeah. Definitely set the pace, and since you have that constant push of the Caitlyn Lux bottom side, and Impact was performing even while giving up damage on the turret, it was just like, hey, FlyQuest don't have an area for Cloud9 to exploit. And since they weren't able to pick anyone off, even though you've got a lot of tools, right? You've got long-range AShe arrow plus Jhin follow-up plus Vi ultimate. You're thinking maybe there would be some more picks or some area to work with on the map, but FlyQuest, this impenetrable fortress, don't give them an opening.
So with Baron spawning here in about 30 seconds, trying to keep an eye on exactly where the resources are. You can see teleports, both of them, available for FlyQuest. Only the one available for C9 there on Fudge. Diplex still going to need about another minute before his is ready to go. C9 want to make the move to go after Vicla here in the top lane. Use the hourglass to buy himself a moment. Flashes over the wall trying to escape. Kingslayer's going to give him the heal to stay alive for now. C9 went in for that. They used Akali ulti. They used Vi ulti. They tried to get the pick, but Vicla still able to get himself away, but it does cost a splash.
Yep. And that's the biggest hope that you have. Just generically, when you're the team that's boxed in and you're behind like this, you're trying to play off these close areas. And since the opponents are all pushing in very spread out parts of the map, then you just try and overload and all go to one of those lanes, see if you can throw 3 people plus ultimates all at them, and hope for a pick. Unfortunately, they're unable to get the pick, but that kind of is the default strategy when you're behind like this and your opponents are trying to get the most out of being ahead and playing all 3 lanes. You just want to overload one of them and Hail Mary.
Well, Fudge is running after Impact here in this long, long lane. You're going to see Impact activate the Ghost. Trying to knock Fudge around a little bit here. The riposte does end up stopping the Q3, but there. Now Impact's ready to go all out. Finds some quick damage onto Fudge while the rest of FlyQuest decides to go for the Baron. Winsome trying to drop the Q on Diplex as he teleports in. Not going to find the timing to guarantee that he lands it. 4,000 HP left for the Baron.
Stolen
Vi ulti. Baron at 2,000. FlyQuest are stopping the burn for now. Arrow over the wall. Blaber still thinking about when he needs to go in to try to challenge for this. Vicla wants to try to stop him. He goes over. The Baron's going to be secured by Spica, and now Blaber is stuck in the middle of 2. Spica provides the CC, and Diplex cannot counterattack over the wall in time. Impact joins the rest of the team, and FlyQuest command a 5v4 with another Baron buff.
No openings, Flower. Vicla says, don't worry, I got this. Let me steal his ultimate. Spica, you can go for the burst now. He Vi ults the Vi herself over the wall, not allowing Blaber any chance of the steal. Good coordination, good communication from this FlyQuest squad, and pretty early into the season for these parts to all come together.
And we just see the rapid fire cannon being completed on Prince. This is a great item, particularly when you're about to enter into a siege scenario. It's going to allow him to get those chip shots onto the turrets. It's going to allow him to get that poke onto the champions very, very, very easily. But at this point, Kobe, they're 9,000 gold ahead. I don't really even think they're concerned about having to chip away at these guys. You just put the pedal to the metal and go.
Yeah, they're not going to chip away. They're going to break down the wall very quickly here. Prince already knocking on the door. They've also got the Mikhails picked up from Winsome just to ensure that all these pick tools that we keep emphasizing for Cloud9 are going to be less effective here, because if Winsome is nearby, nobody's getting caught.
I particularly love that item against AShe, just because the arrows are flying out so frequently. They could hit anybody. It's super dangerous. Even if you're tanking, you get stunned for 5 full seconds. As Impact leads the charge yet again, that turret is going to drop, and the inhibitor is under pressure here in the top lane. Vicla stealing away the AShe ulti. Inhibitor number 2 is exposed in mid, and they're going to focus that one down. FlyQuest takes it out nearly perfectly synced with the one in top, about 7 seconds apart on those. So it's 5 minutes of pain here for C9, but the game might not even last that long. Berserker losing a lot of HP there, having to pop the cleanse. Nexus turrets are already melting away. Nearly killed, but not quite. Berserker not getting a whole lot of value out of the curtain call there, as the Nexus turrets are now gone. C9, it's now or never. They gotta find some sort of a way in. They have Blaber try to go after Prince. The damage goes through, but it's only going through right back onto C9. Vicla goes on a rampage, and Fudge is going in a body bag. Impact gets it done. Zven runs back. Berserker runs back, and FlyQuest runs forward, straight into the heart of C9, and straight into a 30-minute win.
And FlyQuest are the best team in the LCS. 4-0 start and a massive, massive victory over Cloud9.